We hear from businesses all the time who say they aren't expanding in the U.S. because of uncertainty and slowing economy, but we did find a CEO whose company is expanding right here in the U.S., also abroad.
And joining us now is that CEO. He's president of Choice Hotels International. Steve Joyce was here breaking ground on 3 brand new higher-end hotels. So we have to believe that there is a customer out there ready to open up the wallet and pay for these higher expense rooms.
Absolutely. In spite of all the conversation, business for us is really good. And so we broke ground on three new Cambria Suites hotels in a 24-hour period, which I think is a first. But we are expanded rapidly. We're putting some of our own money into the deals. We've got great partners. The first one in White Plains will be open next May. We've got one in Chelsea and one in Times Square. Really great sites, great people, great operations, and it'd be a great thing for our company. Cambria Suites, our first movement into the upscale space, and we're very excited about what we did.
Well, Cambria is upscale, but you also have some of the cheaper sites like Comfort Inns and Econo Lodges and everything. Does it hurt to have 2 different brands that appeal to different times? I mean, is it difficult to find one brand for your company and make it stick?
Well, what happens is you've got a lot of folks that are focused on value, and that is our core. We're mostly moderate tier and below, and we give away free parking, free Wi-Fi, free breakfast for most of our brands, and that is our core client. But depending on where customers are going, we have a lot of demand for our folks that want to go into New York City, for example. We don't have a lot of product in New York City. It's hard to develop a lower-end brand in New York City, a moderate-tier hotel. It's hard to make those numbers work. Cambria Suites will be upscale, and the rate will be a little higher, will be still a value alternative for our customers.
What's your average rate on a room, let's say a king room, not a suite, but a basic room?
So basic room in New York, in Manhattan, for us, you know, it's going to run somewhere in the low 200s. But remember, that's
very reasonable.
Yeah, that's a value compared to the $500 or $600 you're going to be paying in a lot of the upper upscale.
How are you financing all this development? Because credit is tough to get these days.
Credit's tough, but the good thing is it's getting better, and it's gotten better in urban markets. It started last year, and this year it's really improved.
Has that changed your plans? Has that made you more aggressive?
It's made us more. We also think now's a great time to build because we think the hotel business is going to continue to expand for the next several years. New York's obviously one of the hottest markets in the country. It's a great place for us to launch a brand because everybody's here. All the travel managers are here. When they see those hotels, we're hoping they're going to book them in our other hotels. And so we believe the time is right to build. Financing's still a little tough, which is why we stepped in with our balance sheet to fill in some of that capital stack. That's working well. The deals that we've been working for the last 3 or 4 years, last year they started happening, and this year they're coming in a hurry. We're really gaining momentum, and it's exciting. We're putting 1,000 jobs into the city, 641 rooms. We're investing $141 million, and the numbers on it, the returns for the partners look terrific.
It all looks great, but one of the things that you did was join the push up to the fast track dividend party, like all of the many companies, more than 200, who have pushed up their dividend to before the end of the year. You've announced that your quarterly dividend, instead of being payable in January, will be payable December 27th. You're just squeaking in under the line. Clearly, you worry about tax implications after the first of the year. If you had the president's ear, what, as a CEO who's creating jobs, would you say to him? Because these are the exact types of leaders we need, like you.
Yeah, well, what we're seeing at this point is we're hoping that some rational conversation comes into that tax piece, particularly around dividends, because we are a big believer in return to shareholders. We believe that, you know, if it moves a little bit, that's
I was going to say, could you stomach up to 20%, 25%?
If
is there a threshold?
If it moves a little bit, we're still, and we accelerate. We did a special dividend this summer, and we paid out over $600 million to our shareholders because we think taxes are never going to be lower, and the high yield markets have never been in the position they've been in. That and Choice generates a lot of cash, so we'll be back to investment grade within 18 months. But yeah, what we would say to the president, and we're pretty active on the Hill as well, is look, give us something we can work with. Don't radically change that dividend picture because folks depend on those dividends. That's an important part of the stock yield at this point. A lot more important than we're not getting the appreciation we're getting in previous years. So we believe strongly in returning capital to shareholders, but if they push that to the marginal rate, you know, that's not an efficient way for us to return capital.
It could go up 300%. 300%, a threefold increase in the dividend tax. So that's a little high for you.
Yeah, and so we're going to examine, but what we did, which is what a lot of other companies are doing, and we believe it's a prudent strategy, is we've paid our dividend in December. We had to announce soon because under the rules we had to get it done. And that buys us time to watch and see what they do in Washington, and then based on what they'll do, we'll decide what our dividend strategy will be going forward.
Well, thank you for creating jobs.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Well,
particularly with yesterday, Citigroup let 11,000 go. You're adding 1,000.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of positive things going on, and it's good in the hotel business.
Steve, Joyce, Choice Hotels, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you coming in.